The broadcast is live. Yes.
It is live right now, as a matter of
Somebody
fact.
said, just so you know, somebody said I had a filter on my face yesterday. It's not a filter. It's actually my internet, just to point that out.
A filter? Like,
yeah, because I was kind of fuzzy for some period of time yesterday. I saw in the comments yesterday, people were like, Daisy, you take the filter off my face. Listen, that's just my face. Okay. It's just my face. I can't help that. And it's also Elon Musk and his Starlink, and we're trying to figure that out, but we're doing the best we can. We'll get there.
We're doing the best we can, you guys.
Everybody
calm down.
Not a filter. Not a filter. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Good hump day morning. Yeah, that's right? Yes, it is Wednesday morning. Before we get started, we have so much to get into, especially some news about Governor DeSantis. But before we do that, it's time to share Morgan's testimonial about Genucel with everybody, because nobody does a testimonial quite like Morgan. Nope. And this is our friend in Florida. Morgan, by the way, is a person like us who uses words that are considered to be naughty. And so hide your kids, hide your wives. That's all I can say, because I'm not censoring myself.
Hide them.
I'm not censoring myself.
Ooh, look at her go.
Here is what she said about Genucel. And, we've been endorsing Genucel for like 2 years. I feel like it's been a long time. So one of our absolute favorites, and also the main sponsor of our meet and greet. So here is what Morgan said. And I'm surprised that it took her this long to try it, but she finally bit the bullet. So she says, "Hey, my bitches." That's how she starts the email. She says, so a few weeks ago, I bit the bullet and ordered Chamonix Genucel. I really have never had a skincare regimen in my life because I thought it was a waste of money and time, bunch of overpriced bullshit that does absolutely nothing. So this was kind of my mindset when I ordered it. The only reason I ordered it was because y'all talk about it every day and I trust your judgment because you're my people. I am so glad I did. Holy shitballs. What in the Harry Potter is this shit? It's like some sort of wizardry for real. I really noticed last week when I ran out of the house late to coach my morning class. I threw on some foundation and lipstick and ran. And when I got to class, I noticed that I looked like I had just gotten out of a ring with Mike Tyson. She said.
Tyson.
Yeah. Tyson. Busted AF. When I got home, I started over. I did my full daily regimen and OMG, it was night and day. From puffy and dark to refreshed and tightened in 10 minutes. My mind is blown. I am officially sold. Oh, and I never really understood how a face cream could be velvety, as you often describe the XV cream. I totally get it now. I have definitely never dealt with anything quite like it. XV equals extra velvety.
Velvety. I love
you, ladies. Thanks for being persistent. That is an excellent testimonial from Ms. Morgan.
Best testimonial ever.
I mean, what more convincing do you need, you guys, especially right now when it's 65% off the most popular package, which includes all of the regimen that she's describing. You can go to genucel.com/chicks. And then you'll get an extra 10% at checkout if you use code CHICKS at that link. So genucel.com/chicks and then code CHICKS for the extra discount.
Do it. And then listen, you also need to check out our podcast from yesterday. We talked to some lovely ladies yesterday, Moms for Liberty. You guys, great conversation. Great people. It's a wonderful movement. You guys are going to learn a lot. You're going to want to get involved. You're going to be super fired up. So it drops today, probably sometime this afternoon. Our awesome producer, Valen, will have that out. So make sure that you're looking for it. Listen to it. Seriously, it's a fun half hour to listen to. Make sure that you're checking it out. And you're going to be very, very happy that you did. Definitely.
They totally felt like our people.
Oh my God. They were so great, so much fun to talk to. And it's just a wonderful organization. They reminded me a lot of us, you know what I mean? Like the fact that there's two of them and it's sort of a grassroots thing and they're super fun. And I think that they had fun talking to us and it was just a really cool conversation and great organization. So excited.
Totally.
Excited about that one. Yeah.
Oh, and also, because I mentioned meet and greet, and that made me realize that I keep getting a couple messages. I've been getting messages from folks who are asking, what is that website again where I can get my t-shirt for the meet and greet, the Camp Tono official Chicks on the Right t-shirt.
No.
And so reminder, it's not even just that t-shirt that you can get at GratefulAmericanApparel.com. GratefulAmericanApparel.com also has patriotic t-shirts, just like Go America t-shirts that you can get, knowing that 100% of the proceeds are going to help vet and first responders and like amazing charities. So every dime, that's the mission of Grateful American Apparel. That's why they are so awesome. Which is why we're so proud to have them as the sponsor, one of the sponsors of our meet and greet. They're providing these shirts for you to buy, and they're amazing. So we showed you the design. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's at GratefulAmericanApparel.com. Okay, so much news to get to. Should we do DeSantis first before we even get into the Pelosi stuff?
let's do DeSantis first, and then we'll get into Pelosi.
Okay, so all right. So apparently, The View reached out to DeSantis's team and said, we'd like to have the governor on our show. The View.
Oh my God. Could you imagine?
I cannot.
After they dissed him like up and down, back and forth. They've just talked trash about it. I mean, my God. Yeah, they've demonized the guy every which way. And then they're like, hey, come on our show.
Yeah, we'd love to have you sit in on like with the
It's delightful to have you on our show.
So the deputy press secretary, a fellow by the name of Brian Griffin, responded to their request, and it's the best letter you will ever read. Like, if you haven't seen it, I've retweeted it. You can see it on Twitter, but here's the gist. Okay. So they wrote back to whoever from The View asked, and they said, thanks for the invite. I understand you're sending this request on behalf of your team, but are the hosts of The View really interested in hearing from Governor DeSantis about all the important work he's doing on behalf of Floridians to protect their health and livelihoods, to stand up for parents and children, and to defend freedom? Because which of the below statements from the hosts of The View do you recommend that our team consider when deciding if this interview would be a genuine pursuit of the truth or worth the time? And then it proceeds to list 4 quotes, one from Joy, 2 from Sunny, and 1 from Ana Navarro. And they're quoted directly saying the most horrific things about DeSantis. I mean, Sunny calls him Death Santis and says that he's a fascist and a bigot. Joy Behar calls him a negligent, homicidal sociopath. Ana Navarro says that his policies are anti-Black, anti-gay, anti-LGBTQ+, that he's anti-American, that his policies are what happens in Venezuela and Nicaragua. And so he lists out those quotes, right? And then says, we'll pass on this offer. And please note, we don't coordinate appearances or events of a political nature from the official office. Our role is to serve the people of Florida. Mic drop!
Boom. Oh my God, total boom. Yeah, what a bunch of hags. What a bunch of total hags. The hornet's nest. Who wants to be on that show? God, I cannot believe it is on the air still. I just can't believe it. Who watches that garbage, that hot, disgusting, smelly garbage? Who watches it? And why does Ana Navarro still get to call herself a Republican? Why?
It's a mystery.
She's not a conservative. I mean, if she calls herself a conservative, she should literally like internally combust. Like she should automatically just go, you know. There's no way she doesn't call herself a conservative, does she?
No, I don't think she ever has. I think she's always just a Republican.
I mean, right? She's like a Liz Cheney Republican.
Yeah. Well, and so as much as I love that, and I just like savored every word of that email. There is a part of me that also is like, damn it, I wish he would go, because he would level them. You know what I mean? Like he would so put them in their place, and I would love to see that. But that's the thing. So I'm a little torn. As much as I love that response and thought it was awesome, and there's the part of me that agrees they don't deserve him. Like he should not give them the time of day. There's also the part of me where I'm like, man, I would love to see that.
But the thing is, Mock, it would be a lot of screaming. It would just be a lot of screaming. And then him just sitting there trying to defend. And because we've seen it before. It's like, remember when, like, I don't know, an example, like Judge Janine, remember when she went on?
Yeah.
And it was just so much screaming. And then she did great, but it was just on the defense, and she did great. I mean, it's just, I think they just want really good TV, which they get it. And these people do defend themselves, but it's just, oh God, they're just terrible. They're just awful human beings. Yeah. I don't know why anybody goes on that show. Yeah.
Same. All right. So Pelosi did it. She touched down in Taiwan yesterday, and they did not shoot her plane down. And she was able to do the things that she wanted to do, meet with the people that she wanted to meet. She gave a speech. She is totally fanning the flames. And as Daisy and I were talking about right before we went live, like, I don't understand this strategy at all, because she's not only fanning the flames and just making them mad by being there, but she's also going against official U.S. policy on Chinese-Taiwan relations, which I cannot figure out. Like, I cannot understand what the point is of picking this fight right now. But regardless, China's mad. There was an ambassador that went on with John King to talk about what's going to happen, whether we like it or not. Here he is.
Achieve the reunification, as I said earlier, is the firm and the strong view of the whole Chinese nation. So China's sovereignty cannot be infringed, and the Chinese people cannot be humiliated, and the reunification of China cannot be stopped. We said repeatedly in recent time that the PLA will not stay idle. And the duty of PLA, the China's military, is to defend China's sovereignty, territorial integrity.
Mr. Abbas?
So we will take whatever we can to respond and to protect, to safeguard our sovereignty, territorial integrity. And our response will be very firm, strong, and forceful.
Okay. So all right. So it's going to be strong and forceful. But then again, they've been saying that, right? They said that like a couple days ago. I don't know. It's like they said they were going to like shoot her plane down. So there's a part of me that's like, okay, so do it. It's like, I mean, there's a part of me that's like, they've been saying this, and they also are posturing, right?
Right.
It's all right. You put them up. I'm not trying to say that I want to start something with them, because I don't, because we would lose. It's just that the constant, like, don't push us, because we will like shoot her plane down, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. It's like, all right, well then freaking do it. It's like, I'm tired of hearing you say you're going to do something, or it's like the guy that thinks he's all big Billy badass, and then he keeps talking a big talk, and then he doesn't do anything. All right.
Yeah. But I mean, like, oh my God. I just don't understand any of the strategery that Pelosi is engaging in, that this White House, none of it makes any sense to me. I just don't understand what we're doing.
Because there's no cohesion. Because she's doing one thing and Biden doesn't know what the hell he's doing. You know what I mean? And no one is cohesive in this administration at all. She's just off doing whatever the heck she wants to do, because she's like, well, I mean, I'm Pelosi and I'll do whatever I want to do. It's terrible. There is no plan. There is absolutely no one in this administration knows what they're doing, which should be terrifying to everybody in this country, because that's terrible. That's awful. Listen, I understand there are 3 branches of government, and they should be, whatever, they're individual, they do their but they also should be together talking about what is our strategy here? What are we doing? Because this is kind of a big deal, because at any point, China they are kind of wacky, and they could decide, well, they obviously want Taiwan. They obviously want it. And they're going to take it, or they seem like they want to take it. and they're going to do that. And if we get in their way, there's probably going to be a tussle. So are we prepared to tussle with China? No,
but I don't think we are.
No, I don't think we're prepared to do that. But I am kind of this whole like posturing and stuff. It's all very strange to me. I don't know why she felt like she needed to do this. I don't understand it. But I don't know if she knows why she's doing this. This is also bizarre to me. I don't. It is. And the timing is so bizarre.
Right.
It's just what.
And everything that they do it's like bass backwards. You know what I mean? It just makes it just seems like it just defies the exact thing that we should be doing. They do the whole other thing. And I will never understand this. Now, was it yesterday? I think it was, or the day before, that there was an operation to take down that number 2 Al Qaeda guy by like blasting him off of his own balcony with a drone. And so and Biden, like even with his COVID positivity, went out and did like another balcony address about it and like was super proud. Like, look what I did. This is going to make everybody love me again.
Wasn't it from like the Blue Room? Like everybody was like, what's the Blue Room? Like we never heard of it. I didn't even know that was a thing in the White House.
I don't know. He was on a balcony, but I don't know from what room. But, you know, he was obviously touting the success of this mission and talking about how meticulously it was planned and like how important it was. And so the question was then from Peter yesterday, Peter Ducey, to what's his face? Kirby. He was like, I thought that you guys said when you got out of Afghanistan in the way that you did, which we all remember was a complete disaster. Totally. I thought you said that we weren't just like handing the country over to be like a safe haven for terrorists. And now all of a sudden we're taking out a terrorist. Like, how do you square that? Right. And so this is just a tiny piece of their exchange because it went on way too long to play the whole thing. But this was my favorite part.
The Taliban was harboring the world's most wanted terrorist. You guys gave a whole country to a bunch of people that are on the FBI most wanted list. What did you think was going to happen?
I take issue with the premise that we gave a whole country to terrorist groups.
Didn't you though? I mean, isn't that exactly what you did?
I know. He went on. He's like, we didn't own it, Peter. I mean, it's not like we ever owned the country. Yeah, I mean, we only just like invested like crap tons of money in that place and then left them like gajillions of dollars of weapons. Smart ass.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like,
and then never got justice for the 13 dead Marines whose families are still like, hey, remember how you were like, we will not forget. We will not forgive. Remember that big speech?
Yeah. Oh, a lot of us remember. Yeah. a lot of us do. Yeah. But he's patting himself on the back now for killing yet another terrorist that has been born out of, I mean, it's like, okay, we should all be so excited. Yay, he did that. Good for you, Biden. Good for you. Even though you have no idea what you really just did. If from the Blue Room.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's freaking whack.
It is whack.
We need to remind everybody about the humongous sheets sale happening at mypillow.com/chicks right now. Huge sale. I'm talking what's normally about $90 for a set of queen sheets that feel so dreamy and luxurious. It's now $39.98. I mean, I don't know how you get better than that. And then if you add to that the fact that there's buy one, get one offers on towels, which are the most glorious towels you will ever use ever from MyPillow, and their pillows. This is the time to stock up. If you're needing to get gifts for people or just like stock up for yourself, now is the time. You can either call them if you would like to talk to their happy little people. You can call them 800-875-0513 or just go to mypillow.com/chicks. Use code chicks. You're going to get tons of BOGO offers. You're going to save huge on the sheets. Check them out. You know that they're our favorite, but I just wanted to remind everybody about that.
You guys should start buying Christmas presents. I'm going to put my tree up on September 1st. Yeah. Legit. Okay.
Jamie Hill sent a super sticker and said, why would Nance defy Joe? She's his #1 fan, calls him the perfect president. It makes no sense, right? It makes no sense. It makes no sense.
I mean, Nancy would never lie about that. These people don't lie. They are so truthful, you guys.
What was I thinking? They
never do that. And you guys make sure that you're following our website, chicksonright.com. Bookmark it.
Please.
Go read it.
Please do.
Every day.
I do have one notorious KJP clip to share with you. There is, of course, movement forward thanks to Manchin with this Inflation Reduction Act, which apparently, even according to their own economists, may reduce inflation like 10 years from now, which hopefully we won't even have to deal with it then. Does nothing in the short term but raise taxes of huge corporations, right? What will corporations do? They're going to be like, oh, we got to pay like a 15% tax now. Okay, we'll just raise our prices of everything by 15%.
Do they really? There's one economist that thinks it's going to like actually lower inflation in 10 years. Who is this loser?
It's probably
like,
Paul Krugman.
I mean, this is the thing. If they really honestly think that that's going to happen, I mean, come on. And the thing is, we're so in debt. These people are out of their minds. It's like, I cannot believe he got bamboozled into doing this. I cannot believe it. And he's actually
just ridiculous.
He's spewing the talking points like he's drank the Kool-Aid. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, he's everywhere right now, like on every show, every hour, pushing.
Crazy.
So KJP was asked, like, how can you be sure that companies aren't going to immediately pass on their new taxes, their new costs to consumers? Just listen to the absolute nonsensical bullcrap that comes out of Karine Jean-Luc Picard's face.
On the Inflation Reduction Act, so there's a corporate tax increase to a minimum of 15%. How confident is the president that the companies will not pass that cost on to people in the form of higher prices?
Look, the reason why we talk about we think the global minimum tax of 15 is, or the corporate minimum tax of 15 is so important, is because you have 55 companies, corporate companies right now, who pay absolutely nothing, who pay $0, and by doing this, we are fixing the tax loophole. It is important to do that. It is important to have a fairer tax system. And it is important for people to pay their fair share. We're talking about tens of billions of dollars of profit that we are seeing these companies bring in. And not paying a cent, not paying anything for it. I cannot speak to your question that you're asking me. I cannot speak to that. What I can speak is to this legislation and why it's so important.
I can't speak to that.
Okay. If you want fair tax, then do what Herman Cain wanted to do. Do 999. Remember?
999.
Remember 999? That's what you should do. That'd be freaking fair. Seriously, the corporate tax rate is insane. It's like we're getting it's if you are a small business, you are getting bent over, man. Like you can barely survive with the tax. The tax rate is obscene. It's just obscene. So I mean, you talk about fair, okay? Like make it fair. Make it 9%. Everybody gets 9%.
Everybody.
That's fair.
Everybody.
Every single person gets 9%. Let's make it fair.
So thank you, Robert Fitzgibbon. Thank you very much for that super sticker. So I saw the most hilarious, it's like a 3-second clip on TikTok that people made of Karine and Peter Doocy. I mean, it's so, I can't set this up. You just have to watch this. Look.
So I decided I'm going to start gaslighting you.
You're going to start gaslighting me?
That's not what I said.
That's not what I said. Is that not the perfect description? I mean, that's exactly what this administration does, day in, day out.
I
love this day. So much. I love
That's
this so
creepy,
much.
though. That is so incredibly creepy. I'm gonna have nightmares about that.
But I do love that
weird.
so much.
We got a sticker. We got one of those sticker things. I just saw it.
Yeah, I said. That's why I said Robert Fitzgibbon. Thank you very much for.
I didn't hear you. I'm sorry. I was too distracted by the faces. I'm sorry. I was too distracted. Thank you, Robert. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Then
I'm new to this. Sorry. I'm new to the stickers. I can see them now. I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
So then there's this Neil guy from the Federal Reserve who, so Okay, so this is what the Federal Reserve, guys, the people that are supposed to be like so really switched on about the everything with the economy, right? Listen to what he said on a news show about inflation. This blew my mind. Look at this.
It's very concerning. You know, we keep getting inflation readings, new data that comes in and as recently as this past week, and we keep getting surprised. It's higher than we expect, and it's not just a few categories. It's spreading out more broadly across the economy, and that.
It's just like, you're surprised? Even we have been saying these are the things that are going to happen when you print piles and piles and piles and piles of money. This is what happens.
I was so distracted by his head. I wanted to touch it. You know what I mean? I wanted to go, you know how I am about bald men. I just wanted so badly to go like this. I was so distracted. Okay. So he's surprised.
They've been constantly surprised. They've just been endlessly surprised about all the data points coming out about inflation. And this is a dude from the Federal Reserve.
Right. He's probably making so much money at the Federal Reserve. Wow. And he probably has like a master's degree in finance. And this guy's surprised. Okay.
Oh my God. Oh, and then look at this clip of Joe Biden from 13 months ago. Okay. So stop reading comments because I know you're not paying attention.
I'm not reading comments. I'm looking at your face.
You've got to listen to this 13 months ago Joe Biden, because everybody in the press needs to play these words back to him right now and then say, okay, we're waiting for you to make some changes. Because here's what he said 13 months ago.
And by the way, talking inflation, the overwhelming consensus is going to pop up a little bit and then go back down. No one's talking about this great, So again, if it turns out that what we've done so far, is a mistake, it's going to show. It's going to show. The economy's not going to grow like it wasn't.
The economy's not going to grow.
It's showing, Joe. It's showing, all right. Yeah. Oh my God. I cannot with this guy. And he still had the crazy eyes. What does he take? What drug did they give him? I want to know. Like to make his eyes look all crazy and googly like that.
And
what
black.
Is it? Yes. Like demonic. What is it?
It's crazy.
I mean, I don't want it. I don't want any part of it. I just want to know what it is.
Tucker wants it. Tucker's like, we all need access.
I don't want it. I don't want any part of that. But yeah. Okay. So it shows. It is showing. It's showing everywhere we go, at the grocery store, at the gas tank, everywhere. Like power bills. My power bill, I mean, it was bad this month. Mm-hmm. I mean, listen, the heat has a little bit to do with it. We're all like, it's, there's a heat wave and everything, drought here in Texas, but still. Everything, energy costs, everything have gone up. Everybody's feeling it everywhere. It shows, Joe.
So what is he waiting for? Your policies failed. Everything you've done is wrong. So perhaps maybe it's time for a reset. Perhaps maybe it's time to do the opposite of what you think you should do and just start doing like the good and next true, best, right things. How about that?
They won't do that.
They won't. No. I know how some people get mad at me when I criticize Alex Jones. So I'm not going to. I'm not going to criticize him. I'm just going to show you a little clip of what's happening inside the courtroom. As you guys probably know, currently he is in the middle of the trial with the Sandy Hook parents who, have sued him for defamation and all that kind of stuff. So just to give you a little peek into a moment that happened between him and the judge yesterday, please behold.
Spit your gum out, Mr. Jones.
It's not gum.
Well, what is it? Because you're not allowed food or gum of any kind in the courtroom.
I had my tooth pulled a week and a half ago, and I had some gauze in it earlier, and it's been causing me to have some pain.
So you're chewing on your gauze?
Would you like me to show you?
No, I just want you to answer my question.
No, I was massaging the hole in my mouth with my tongue. I'm sitting right here.
I don't want to see the inside of your mouth.
Oh no, there's no gum. hole.
Sit down.
Okay, wait. He has a hole in his mouth. What is? I don't understand. I didn't quite catch that because I couldn't hear very. So he has a hole. What's the hole in his mouth from? What is it from?
She said, "Get rid of your gum." He said, "I don't have gum. I had some tooth work done yesterday. A tooth pulled, and I had some gauze in it, and I was chewing the gauze." And she said, "You're chewing on the gauze?" And he was like, "Yeah, and I'm also massaging the hole with my tongue. See, that's what he was doing." And she was like, I don't want to see any of that. Like, put your whole mouth away." And her tone, she clearly hates his guts, like hates him.
There was a general disdain in her voice for this human being that is palpable. Like, you could just be like, you could just hear her like try to control the fact that she wants to punch him in the face. There is just so many punches, you guys.
Oh my God.
Like, she wants to vomit in her mouth from the very sight of him. You can just tell. It's happening. Listen, I'm
not going to go well for him.
I'm not making fun of him. I'm not just like Mark is not making fun of him. I'm not making fun of him, but you can tell that she wants to hurt him in a number of ways. She wants to hurt him with her hands, and she's probably she's sitting on her hands just so she does not hurt him. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
It's not going to go well for him. It's just not going to go well.
Don't think that's going to end well at all. No.
Couple of other quick headlines before we get to whack, and that is that Demi Lovato, if you're familiar with Demi Lovato, did we do a podcast about her when she became a they, them, and like, okay.
She did. Now she's a she. Now she's a member. She's a she, her.
Right.
Yeah.
But we did the podcast when she decided to be like gender fluid, and then she wanted to use they, them pronouns. And so she was trying very, very desperately to get all the attention. Mm-hmm. And we actually participated by giving her some and mocking her. And so now
remember when she was cute and dated Wilmer Valderrama from that 70s show? Remember?
I remember. And then she became like unspeakably objectionable looking, like just not okay at all. And now she's sort of reverting back to her feminine ways. And so she said on some sort of podcast yesterday, she's going back to she, her pronouns because she is so very fluid. Mm-hmm. And right now she's in a phase where she just feels super feminine. So if you could just please go back to calling her she, her, she would appreciate it.
Yeah. Listen, I figured this is probably a good time to let everybody know that I'm changing my pronouns to chimichanga. I want everybody to start calling me that. It's weird though, because I don't have that option in Twitter. They don't give me that option.
It doesn't give you that? It's not in the drop down?
It's not. I'm upset about it.
Well, I'm sorry about that, but we'll call you Chimichanga for sure.
Okay, thank
you. Big celebrity news, and that is that it turns out that Ashley and Winona Judd were apparently left out. They are not mentioned whatsoever in Naomi's will. And so she left her husband of 33 years, which actually makes a lot of sense to me. She left him to be the executor of her $25 million estate, and that if he, for some reason, is unable to serve as executor, it would be his brother that would serve in his place, and that her husband has full authority and discretion over any property, and that he does not require any permission from any beneficiary of the estate. And so he's also going to be paid for being an executor of the estate. So
I don't see
the reason it's a big deal is because reports are apparently that Winona in particular is super upset and she's going to contest the will. Now, whether that's true or whether that's like a Radar Online kind of headline, I don't know. But apparently the sisters are once again spatting about this because Ashley, apparently, this is according to reports, has no problem with the will the way it's written. But Winona clearly does, because what this means is that her entire music catalog with her mom is only half hers. So essentially, her stepdad owns half of her music catalog. And that probably does not sit well, since that was not mentioned specifically. Neither of the girls were mentioned specifically. That's kind of up in the air. Now, for all intents and purposes, it seems like they all have a great relationship with one another. So I can't imagine that her, that Naomi's that her husband would all of a sudden be like, woo, I'm in the money, and like screw the girls. I don't see that happening, but this is a story, and I felt like it was probably worth mentioning.
I read that she was counting on that money because she's not really good with money. That Winona has not been very good with money. She has money issues, and that she's a spender, and that she was counting on getting money in that will, which, listen, this stuff brings out the worst in people.
Yeah.
and I hate it. So, but the bottom line is that I personally I'm of the thought that, if somebody puts in their will that they want to leave money to their spouse, then people should honor that. I just feel
right.
like
Well, and that's how usually it works, right? Like your spouse is almost always your beneficiary.
Right. And then, I don't like it when people contest wills. Like, why would people do that? If somebody says in their will, I want to leave money to X person, why would you contest a will? That person obviously made a will 5 years ago, and that's what they wanted. That's what that individual wanted. She obviously was of sound mind. That's what she wanted. So why would you contest that? That just seems really disrespectful to the person that did it. She didn't want to leave you the money, Winona. So don't contest it. You know what I mean? That just go.
And I don't know. Again, you never know if this is true, because a lot of these outlets will be like, they want to create drama, right? So you don't know if that's actually what's happening. It could be that they are completely blowing this out of proportion. I have no idea, but that is the reporting currently. So there you go. All right. What is in your sack of whack?
Okay, this is like one of my worst nightmares. All right, there's this woman in Florida. This was like, I think it was like a couple Saturday nights ago. So she goes downstairs, she makes herself a snack. Okay, she gets her popcorn in the microwave. She goes to use the bathroom. She opens the door, does a quick turnaround, and sees this. Okay, it's a freaking iguana, you guys. Like, this is it's in, I think it's South Florida is where this happened. Okay, so like, seriously, my worst nightmare. I always tell my husband, I'm like, I'm so afraid in Texas that there's going to be some sort of like a snake or something in one of our toilets, and I'm not going to notice it until it's way too late. It's like so terrifying. And so she had it removed. Like she called somebody, I don't even know who she called to have it rescued or whatever. But the person that rescued this iguana, because they didn't kill it, I would have shot it, y'all. I would have just ruined my entire toilet. I would have gotten the shotgun and just ruined my entire toilet, because I freaked out. Seriously, that thing is huge. Look how big it is.
It's big.
Anyways,
it's huge.
The guy that rescued it, it's huge. The guy that rescued it said it was the second one in a week that he saw in a toilet. And I'm just
oh my God.
Right. And apparently they're not indigenous to Florida. People brought them over. Like, I'm not even sure from where. Like, I guess they brought them over from other countries or whatever. And they're not dangerous. They won't hurt you, but they can transmit salmonella. So if you are living in Florida and you see these, just be careful, because you can get salmonella from them.
Ew is right. And you were all like, before we went live, she was like, you're probably going to think this is so cute. I have a very strict fur policy, as you're aware. This is not something I thought. And she was like, the woman who saw this apparently, like, just, she saw it well in advance. It's not like she sat down first and then saw it.
But can you imagine?
And then closed the door again, and then was like, I got to call someone. I cannot imagine what I would do in that situation, because that thing is massive. It's not like you can just flush it down.
No.
You can't flush that.
No, you can't flush it. And it always happens when your husband's out of town. This is what always happens. Always.
Every freaking time.
And so you're left going, what am I supposed to do? I mean, I either shoot it, or I don't go in that bathroom for the next 3 days. I just close the door and I lock it, and I just sit there, and no one uses that bathroom for the next 3 days. Like, so it's crazy, you guys. Iguanas.
Oh my God.
Iguanas are crawling up toilets in Florida.
Always look before you sit. This is the rule, right? Just like check your surroundings out, make sure everything's kosher, and then do your business.
PSA from the
PSA
chicks.
from the chicks.
Always look in the toilet. Look hard, you guys. Look hard.
That's right. Okay, it is time for some My Pillow talks. I got some good ones for you today. First, we're going to start with Ben Shapiro because it's always so interesting when he, kind of puts someone in his place. And I thought this clip was of particular interest because it is so similar to what we wrote about in our book back in 2014, Right for a Reason, when we talked about the fact that one mistake that conservatives often make when they are debating a liberal or a leftist is that and this is particularly true on the abortion discussion. One thing that conservatives do wrong is they bring God into the argument as if that's going to change someone's mind who has a completely different belief system or no belief system at all. And Ben Shapiro is extremely religious, okay? But he is making that same point, and of course he does it so well. Watch.
Having a PhD from Ferris State next to your name makes you an expert in all things in the field in which you propose to speak. Okay, the fact is that either my argument's good or my argument's bad. Citing to my credentials is a really bad way of making an argument. It's like it's actually the equivalent of, it's so funny when people do this, it's the equivalent of actually a religious person saying, citing to the Bible for an argument. I'm a very religious person, right? I mean, see this? It's the yarmulke, okay? I'm a religious person, okay? I never cite to the Bible. The reason I don't cite to the Bible is because that's an argument from authority. Okay, you may not believe the authority to which I'm citing. I don't believe the authority to which you're citing. So you're going to have to make me an argument as to what I'm saying that's wrong instead of just saying I don't have the properly enumerated degree from the institution of your choice. I don't think.
I love that. He's so right. He's so right.
Yeah, he's exactly right. And that's why when people do start talking about, like abortion and religion, I'm like, listen, there are a lot of people out there that think abortion is wrong and they're agnostic or they're atheist and they just know it's wrong because it's wrong, and there are arguments against it because it is wrong. And you can make that argument because it's wrong outside of the religious context. So do that, do that. And it'll be a stronger argument. It will be. And you can probably get more people on your side of that argument by making the argument that way,
Right. And it's like when people have written us emails and it's like, here's why you're wrong. And then they list like a gajillion pieces of scripture. I'm like, I don't even read it because I'm like, if you can't make your argument separate from the Bible, then you don't have an argument.
Right.
Period.
Right.
That is going to convince people who don't believe in the same things as you. It's just not going to work. So you got to be able to argue the argument on its own merits, right? Like you have to argue the point, the issue, not why you believe it, but why you're right. Like what makes you right. And that has nothing to do necessarily with the Bible. That's about your morality and what you believe, but that's not what makes your issue right or what makes you right about your issue. So I hate it when people do that. Even if we're Christians, that's the worst way to make an argument. And so I love that he said that. Okay, I wanted to also, I know that these are kind of serious today. We'll end with a funny one, but there is another one that was sent to me on Twitter about a woman who's being sued in federal court right now. And her story is just mind-blowing. And so it's a little bit longer than normal, but I think this was brand new news to me. I did not know about this whole situation. And I think the more people that know about it, the better.
In federal court under the Ku Klux Klan law of 1871 by Biden administration campaign staffers and Democrat politicians like Wendy Davis in Austin for flying Trump flags next to the Biden bus when it drove through Texas in 2020, if you remember that viral video of the Trump train. They're saying that our plan was to band together on a public highway like the Ku Klux Klan to suppress Black people from voting, and that they're traumatized and offended and want to be financially compensated. There's no criminal charges, it's civil. So they're basically saying their feelings are hurt and they want to be financially compensated for our presence, driving down a road we pay taxes to drive on, exercising free speech, which should be protected under our First Amendment right. So we've spent about $80,000 trying to get the lawsuit dismissed because it's frivolous and full of lies and holes. And to no avail, we have an Obama-appointed judge at the federal level, and he's denied our motion to dismiss it and ruled it would go to trial. We're 2 appeals away from the Supreme Court. And we've been quoted about $600,000 for a legal defense fund to get through this process. We cashed out our 401k.
I don't know if can you guys still hear me? Let me know if you can still hear me. Oh, you can still hear me. Okay. All right. So Mox, okay. If you guys can still hear me, this is good. She just wrote me. Holy crap, you guys can still hear me. Yay. Okay. Mock just wrote me and said her power just went out, like unexpectedly. She just texted me. So I'm trying to figure out, because she runs the StreamYard that we are in. So stay put for a second. She's going to take a minute and get back up and running. All right. Somebody tell me a good joke. It's the Daisy Show, you guys. I know. Her power just completely went out. I thought for sure it was me, because usually it's me where my power goes out. Not my power necessarily, but usually it's Starlink. Look, you're back. I was going to get out. I was going to totally get out thinking it was just me.
No, I told you it would just take me a minute to get everything back up and running. We had a brownout or whatever, like when it just goes out for a minute and then it comes back. And so everything went down. I
was like, oh, it's got to be me, just freezing up because of Starlink. But it wasn't me.
No,
alas, it was not me.
The whole house went black, and now we're fine. So
Silly
I don't know how much did people see of that video?
Up until the point, I saw up until the point where she was talking about how it was $600,000.
Okay. Let me see if I can get that back, because it was so good, right? And she was about to explain where they are in the process.
It was basically for flag flying. That's it.
So I guess there was a parade of her and a bunch of people were on the same road as Biden's posse or whatever. And so there was a Trump train, or how they were just driving down the road and expressing their opposition to Biden. And now they're being sued humongously. And she's had to spend thousands cashing out her 401k because of this. And so they're selling these t-shirts that say Biden is the worst, WURST. And so that's what, if you can't read her t-shirt, that's what it says. But I'll go ahead and just play it from the beginning, just in case people missed it. Should I do that?
I honestly I just don't understand I don't understand how this is illegal. I just don't understand it.
Well, that's the thing. It's not. And they're in a federal court, which means, and she's saying that they have an Obama appointed judge. So she doesn't feel confident about getting through this. And she feels like this is going to go to the Supreme Court. No one's talking about this case. And so that's why I thought it was important to play it, just so everybody could, hear it. So I'll play it again from the beginning.
1971 by Biden administration campaign staffers and Democrat politicians like Wendy Davis in Austin for flying Trump flags next to the Biden bus when it drove through Texas in 2020, if you remember that viral video of the Trump train. They're saying that our plan was to band together on a public highway like the Ku Klux Klan to suppress Black people from voting, and that they're traumatized and offended and want to be financially compensated. There's no criminal charges, it's civil. So they're basically saying their feelings are hurt and they want to be financially compensated for our presence driving down a road we pay taxes to drive on, exercising free speech, which should be protected under our First Amendment right. So we've spent about $80,000 trying to get the lawsuit dismissed because it's frivolous and full of lies and holes. And to no avail, we have an Obama-appointed judge at the federal level, and he's denied our motion to dismiss it and ruled it would go to trial. We're 2 appeals away from the Supreme Court, and we've been quoted about $600,000 for a legal defense fund to get through this process. We cashed out our 401k, our savings account. Now we're relying on fundraising, and because conservative media is not telling the story, we've come up with our own marketing merchandise to try to get the word out there, kind of have fun in this stressful situation while we raise awareness, but also hold the line for free speech. And they basically picked on us to make an example out of us, I think, to suppress it, but they picked the wrong ones because we're going to fight harder than ever to exercise it and to defend it. So, our founding fathers and the men and women that died to make this land free, and our rights that come from Jesus Christ who died to make us free, aren't going to be taken away from a tyrannical government. They're not going to take mine or my kids' rights away. So they picked the wrong stay-at-home mom. We're just going to fight back. And I don't think they expected us to be able to do that. But by the grace of God, we've raised $175,000 in about a year. $5, $10, $20, $100 at a time. So we're just going to keep fighting and hope for victory. So we've got God on our side, and they don't. So I have to save my dog. My dog is also supporting.
All right, so that's like sort of the end of that.
What
You can find
in
the
the
whole
world?
story. You can find the whole story on the Epic Times, EPOCH Times. So, yeah, I mean that is freaking crazy.
Like Tucker needs to pick that up. You know what I mean?
And yeah, she's saying
I'm
no
surprised.
conservative media is picking it up, and I don't know why. So
yeah, that's crazy. Oh God,
I know.
and she said the name Wendy Davis. God, remember her?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Pig
God, that
Tennies,
woman.
Wendy Davis. Ugh.
Remember her?
What's she
you guys?
doing? Is she
I
just
don't know,
still state repping in Austin?
Suing chicks like her, I guess.
Oh my God.
What a hag. God,
Oh my
I
God.
don't even know. I don't know. I don't hear much about her in Texas. I mean, because I'm kind of involved in Texas politics here, and I don't hear anything about Wendy Davis. Nothing. I think she probably married a rich guy, She seems like one of those,
Well, we're going to end this with a cute thing. And that is this amazing, like, automatic ball thrower for dogs. And the excitement on this dog's face, the anticipation is like the cutest thing you will ever see. Watch.
I taught my dog how to play fetch with herself, and now it's her absolute favorite thing.
Oh my God.
Watch her put it back. It's my favorite. Look at, she's dancing. She's dancing.
Oh my God, I love her.
And she knows when it's about ready to go because she lifts that one little foot.
Oh my God.
Isn't that the cutest?
I taught my dog how to play.
That is pure joy right there.
I know.
Pure
I just
joy.
love that so much.
I mean, she probably plays with that thing for hours.
I know.
I love dogs.
So
Dogs are
cute.
the best, guys. The absolute best. All right. It's Wednesday, right?
It is Wednesday.
Wednesday all day, you guys. Sorry, we kind of like,
I'm
tuned
sorry
out
about
there
my
for a
power.
second. I didn't realize I was on by myself. And then, you came back too early because I was going to start singing a song or like doing, I was going to like, start leading everybody in some sort of a dance. And then you came back. So it was going to be the Daisy show. Sorry, you guys.
Sorry,
we're going to dance together. And next time she goes out, we'll do like a dance together, you guys. Okay. All right. Okay, everybody, bring it in. Bring it in. You guys have a fantastic day today. Like, make it the best Wednesday of your lives. All right. Because I'm sure a lot of kids are going back to school here soon. A lot
Next
of you moms
Wednesday,
out there.
a week from today.
Yeah. That's right. I think,
you're 2 weeks from today.
Mine's 2 weeks from today. But a lot of moms, you're going to wind down here. It's just like the end of summer. So soak those kids in. I know a lot of moms are excited to have their kids go back, but soak your kids in and have a great Wednesday. And we will talk to you tomorrow.